Hi guys, I'm Andy. Welcome back to Backpacking UK. If hiking, backpacking and wild camping are your thing, please hit that subscribe button because that's what this channel's all about. Right, today we're going to be talking about wild camping anxiety and, more importantly, how to deal with it. Now, this is something that so many people feel, and it's definitely the majority of people too. I recently did a poll to see if people get anxious when they go out wild camping, and 25% of people said they actually don't go wild camping because they feel so anxious, and a staggering 50% of wild campers still feel anxious before they go out wild camping too. So it only leaves a little small proportion of people that are super confident to go out wild camping, don't have any bad feelings at all. So the good news is, if you're one of those people that feel a bit anxious, feel a bit nervous, a little bit apprehensive about wild camping, you're not alone. And that's by far the most important thing in this video, is that you're not alone. So what I'm going to do in this video is to show you how to manage that anxiety. So we're going to be looking at ways to either overcome your fears and ways that you can scratch little parts off this list so you have less and less to worry about. So what do people get anxious about before they go wild camping? Well, some of it's down to kit, so either forgetting kit or not taking the right kit or the actual kit failing. Other things are to do with the weather. You've got animals and insects, and then you've got the people problem, which is quite a big one for a lot of people. By far the number one is the fear of being moved on. With that comes confrontation. The other thing is just meeting people as well. You know, you might want to be on your own. And the last thing is just sort of getting into difficulties really, or getting injured. But the good news is there are things you can do to really minimise the impact of all these issues. So let's talk about kit first. Now, get yourself like a backpacking kit checklist. Now, luckily for you guys, I've actually done one already. So if you check out my other videos, it doesn't matter if you don't watch it, but within that video, there's actually a link to, I think, the file on my OneDrive. So go on there, download that backpacking kit checklist, print it off, and do use it. And I tell you what, when I've forgotten things, and my mates have too, it's because we didn't use the checklist. So it's such an easy thing to do, and it can make you feel so much more comfortable before you go out. The next thing is watch reviews. Read and watch reviews on your gear to make sure you're buying decent kit and also the right sort of kit for the purpose that you're going to be using it for. I.e., don't take a summer sleeping bag out in winter. So that is very helpful too. With sort of certainly the insect side of things, take like cream or spray, you know, put it on beforehand. You know, if you're worried about ticks, take some like tick tweezers with you as well. So hopefully that should stop that. With animals, well, you shouldn't be camping anywhere near animals anyway, to be honest. But, you know, for me, that's a big one. Cows and horses, I won't be anywhere near them. And certainly if I ever am, I just can't sleep. So just don't do it. And with people, same with animals. I mean, one thing I would suggest trying to do, you just want to get out of the way. You don't be anywhere near footpaths. Don't want to be anywhere near like farmers' fields. You know, if you're in the national parks, try and get up high, get above that fell wall, and hopefully you'll be away from people, and the people and animals will leave you alone. So next up is the weather. So use apps like, in the UK we've got like BBC Weather, we've got the Met Office, but there's also some really good apps out there. Like there's a windy app, there's also like a rain app too. So really study the weather before you go out, and then what kit you need to take and what to expect. So there's no hidden surprises. But I'd also say here, sort of prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's like a classic saying, but it's so true. You don't want to be underprepared, because if something happens or the weather changes, you're just going to feel even more anxious. So be prepared. Now, if one of your fears is being out alone and getting injured, do tell people exactly what your plans are, where you're going, when you're starting, when you're likely to be back. If you've got a route, share your route, share that information. It's really, really good for sort of you and your health, but it'll calm your mind as well. So definitely do that. Make sure you've got a full battery of phone, but also like little GPS devices. Like I use a Garmin InReach Mini 2. So even if you've got no phone signal, you've still got a communicating device with you. So the big one, confrontation, the fear of being moved on. It's what we all struggle with in the UK, because unless you're camping in Dartmoor or Scotland, you're sort of doing it illegally, really. But the main thing is, in the highly, highly unlikely event that's going to happen, be nice, pack up your gear and move on. It's as simple as that. Don't start arguing. And this is where I would say here, you need a plan B. Plan C would be nice as well. So when you plan your wild camping locations, just plot a few out there. So if the worst did happen and if you did get moved on, you've got another couple of places. But say it goes really wrong for whatever reason, in a highly, highly unlikely event it goes really wrong, end of the day you can go home. It's, it's not the end of the world. And when we say, wild camping's illegal and that, they're not going to call the police on you if you agree to move on. From my understanding of the law, you can only be on the wrong side of the law if you refuse to move on. So basically, don't be an idiot and you'll be absolutely fine. So hopefully we're starting to sort of chip away, make you feel less anxious about wild camping. But in my summary, I think you always will feel a little bit anxious, a bit nervous, a bit apprehensive. Myself, a little bit of a thrill seeker. I also actually quite like the feeling. It's part of why I do it. I do lots of sporting events, and I love being on that sort of start line, with all the thoughts going through your head. What could happen? I find it massive buzz. I get a lot of adrenaline out of it. But one thing that always happens is when you start, once you're actually doing it, all that goes away, or nearly all of it goes away anyway. And then once you finish, you've got this exhilarating feeling, because sometimes it is a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but you're left with this amazing feeling, and bizarrely you don't want to stop, and you want to do it all over again, and you want to start planning, for your next camp or event after that. So, I'd really, really, really tell everyone who hasn't done it yet, give it a go. You've got to get the first one out of the way. Try and buddy up or go with a friend or do something local, you know, go somewhere where it's familiar to you. You know, get the first one out of the way, big tick in the box, big confidence boost, and then you're just gonna feel like the world's your oyster. And that's really, I think, how a lot of people start. Before you know it, you'll be doing multi-backpacking trips all over the UK. So I hope this video about wild camping, anxiety, and how to overcome your feelings has given you a bit of a confidence boost. The main thing is you can do it, and I promise you, you can do it. So get prepared, get planning, give it a go, and I promise you won't regret it. But the feeling probably won't ever go away. But it's like everything, you know, the more you do something, the more comfortable you get. And more you do it, your sort of adventures will get bigger and better, and your enjoyment factor will go through the roof. So this is the time of year to get started. So go and give it a go. So hopefully you got something out of this review. Please check out my other videos. Please subscribe. Put some comments in the comment section below and share your feelings, because that'll be great, and we can all help each other out and help you all feel more and more confident. But hopefully you'll do what I've said, go through all these little elements, try and tick them off, and I hope to see you camping soon. Cheers.